Is it a weakness to get help? Fear of getting therapy. Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I am answering more of your personal questions that you submitted to me. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So before we go more into detail about having this fear of getting therapy or counseling, we're going to talk more about wanting help but too scared to get it, or maybe not knowing how to. There are so many people I hear saying that they want help, they want to talk to somebody, but they're afraid of what people will say, they're afraid of appearing weak. I just like to start off this video by saying you are not alone. I dealt with the same thing this past year. I was going through a low point in my life last fall, and it's something I've really never felt to that level before. I was very stressed. I was going through so much anxiety. It was to the point where I felt very emotional every single day, and I was just losing motivation, and just a lot of things were happening that were very negative, and I just needed help. So one day I took it upon myself and I called the counseling center at my college, and it's something I never thought I would have to do. I've always known that I've struggled a little bit with anxiety, but I've never had therapy. I've never had counseling. I never thought that I would be that person who would have to sit in a room with a counselor and talk out my feelings. Like, I've never done that before. I thought I just wouldn't need it. I thought I could just get past what I was feeling inside and figure it out on my own. But I knew that day when I called, I really needed it. Like, there was no going back after that. And I will admit, not only was I intimidated by the word counseling, I was a little bit embarrassed. At this time in my life, I thought that me needing counseling was a weakness. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought that I wasn't like other people. Why do I have to be like this? Why am I so weird? Why do I need help? So all these things were going through my head, just all these negative thoughts. And it actually just made me spiral down into more negative thoughts after that, which did not help my anxiety. And the reason why I tell you guys about my personal experience with counseling is because I personally benefited from counseling. I know everybody has different experiences with it, but I, for one, needed it, and it really did help me. And to be honest, if I didn't get counseling and if I didn't get the help that I needed, I wouldn't be standing here right now sharing this with you. So going back to this idea that getting help is a weakness, since when was getting help or needing help a weakness? I know that when you're struggling with something, everything can seem very scary, it can seem new, and you already might feel isolated as a person. You might already feel like you're different than everybody else, or that you're weird, or that you're not strong enough. And if you're already having these thoughts, that can make counseling just seem more scary. Well, here's what I have to tell you. As I said before, getting help or needing help is not a weakness in any sense. If anything, it shows a strength. The day that I called the counseling center and thought enough is enough, that was me showing a strength. For you to be struggling with something and then say, no, I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm going to go get help. I'm going to go talk to somebody, and I'm going to try to get better. You even saying that to yourself and just making that phone call, that is the first step to recovery. That is you taking charge of your anxiety, your depression, or whatever you're going through. That is you being the boss and you taking control of your life, which shows strength. And if you guys have any people in your life who are saying it's a weakness, or they're saying it's weird that you go to therapy or get counseling, cut them out of your life, because that is the worst thing you can say to somebody who is your friend, and that's just not a friend thing to say anyway. If you need help, you should get help. And to be honest, even if you guys aren't struggling with anything, it's perfectly normal and completely fine to want to go talk to somebody. Even if you just want to talk about your day and it's something minor and you just want to talk something out with somebody, that is normal. And to be honest, that is so healthy. It's been proven that if you bottle things up, keep things inside, it will explode. And in my opinion, I think everybody could benefit from therapy. Everybody views therapy as this weird taboo thing where you go if you have a mental illness, and that's not true. Some people might just need someone to talk to in that moment of their life, and they go to counseling or therapy. I think that everybody could benefit from talking to somebody, especially a trained and professional counselor. I mean, that's what they're there for. And on the other hand, some people are just afraid to go to counseling. They don't know what to expect. They think it's going to be scary. It's all new to them. Again, it was new to me too. I've never had counseling before. I've never sat down with a trained professional before and talked out all my feelings. And to be honest, that can sound very intimidating. So I can't speak for all counseling centers, considering I've only been to one at my college, By the way, it's free. But in my experience, it wasn't intimidating at all. It was very friendly, and they make you feel so comfortable there. I know it depends on the counselor. Luckily, I had someone really nice. So in my situation, all I did is I called to request a appointment time, and then you go on the day and time of your appointment, and when you go in, there's the receptionist, and you know, everything is confidential. You just tell them your name and your appointment time, and if this is your first time, they send you over to this little room with a couch. It's like the waiting area, and they ask you to fill out some forms about yourself. It's like a scale of how you feel or things you're going through, and there's about like 2 to 3 pages of that. So you should actually show up early to your appointment. I would say 15 minutes early so you can fill that out before your appointment. They have already assigned you a counselor, so they will come out and then you will go into that room with them. And usually the first meeting with your counselor, you don't really go into depth about what you want to talk about or your issues or anything that's on your mind. Usually your counselor just wants to get to know you on a surface level first, like the basics, nothing too intimidating. If anything, they try to open you up and warm you up so you feel comfortable, because that's the whole point of counseling and therapy. You're not going to be able to open up to your counselor if you feel uncomfortable or if you feel like you can't open up to them. So literally before you sit down in that chair, they actually get you a drink of water. Like, they make you feel at home. They make sure you have everything you need, and usually the rooms are very comfy. They look nice. To be completely honest, as sessions go on, you don't even feel like you're talking to a counselor anymore. I actually felt like I was talking to a friend when I was with my counselor. Like, you get so comfortable with them. And again, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I got so comfortable with my counselor because he just made it so easy. So it was so easy for me to say everything I wanted to and to open up. By the way, I'm also the type of person to just talk a lot anyway, so he said I'm very good at explaining my feelings and being open. I know there's other people who don't know how to explain themselves, so it could be a little bit more challenging. But you know what? When you're a counselor, that's your job, to help people even if they aren't that responsive. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. And since this counseling program was through the school, I actually only got 6 weeks with this program. And you're allowed to request more visits if you want, but in all honesty, 6 weeks was enough for me. Every counseling visit for me was about an hour. It was once a week. And then at the end of each visit, you request another day and time that you'd like to go. And every time I walked out of that office, I actually felt so much more confident and I felt better. And it's just a time to reflect on yourself. And I will admit that after 6 weeks, I felt so much better. It really did help. Again, they're not really there to diagnose you. They don't give you pills or medicine because, again, this is counseling. So literally, guys, the point of counseling is just to talk, to get your thoughts and feelings out. It's really nothing more complicated than that. As I said before, you don't need to be a basket case to get counseling. Sometimes people just need to talk. So I highly recommend it if you need help and it's not a weakness. Every high school has a counseling office, every college does, so it's not that hard. You could just ask for a phone number. And lastly, I just have to say, surround yourself with people in your life who are supportive and loving, because those people will help you through this journey of getting help. And to be honest, it's no one's business if you're getting counseling anyway. It's more of a confidential thing. My parents and close friends knew I was getting counseling, but I didn't blast it to everybody either. At the end of the day, just know that it's more worth it to get help and to talk to somebody and to take control of your life than worrying about what everybody else thinks of it. I would rather get the help I need and improve than care what anybody else thinks about it. Counseling is about you improving on yourself and getting better, not about these other shitty people who are judging you. So anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. Sorry if it was a little bit wordy, but hopefully I got my point across. If you have any thoughts or personal experiences about this topic, just leave it down below. And like always, I make a new video whenever I want, so like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description, and I will see you guys later. Bye.